'cause I love that dirty water. Oh, Boston, you're my home. Good evening, sports card fans. Beantown62 coming at you live from Abilene, Texas, where it is D-Day. It's 0 hour. It's time. No time left on the clock. What are we going to do? It's the YouTube Hall of Fame voting. Time is running out. Should Beantown62 cast his votes for YouTube Hall of Famers? Really been struggling with this and chewing on this, and really just haven't really come up with a solid direction on what we should do. Should Beantown spill the beans? I don't know if you remember the old game of don't spill the beans. And so that what keeps coming back to Beantown's mind is don't spill the beans. And so I actually had to go out to some of my close YouTube friends, and I had to get their advice on should Beantown spill the beans. And so I went out and I contacted my good friend, Bob Lewis, and asked him, said, Bob, should Beantown spill the beans? And Bob came back and said to Beantown, you know, Jim, it really doesn't matter. Nobody cares whether you really spill the beans or don't spill the beans. So Bob Lewis thinks you should just go ahead and spill the beans. And I said, wow, you know, that's probably right. Probably nobody really cares. But I'm going to go to one more person, and I'm going to ask one more of the YouTubers that I really look up to. And so here I went to Blake of Dustin and Blake and said, Blake, should I spill the beans? And this is what comes back at me. And so after looking at this, I figured that Blake wants me to spill the beans too. And so with that, Beantown62 is now going to, we got my bean pot right here, center stage, being officiated by my Mookie Betts auto. We are going to spill the beans, and Beantown62 is going to give you his YouTube Hall of Fame votes. And I want to put a little disclaimer out. This doesn't mean that there's any order to this, because this was really hard, guys. I've listened to every one of you go do this, and it is. Just so many great channels out there. Beantown62 is relatively a young guy at this. So many people that I'm just now getting to know. I'm seeing stuff. I mean, every day I see new stuff. Got new subscribers, of course. I bounced the 100 subscriber mark, got that contest going. Don't forget that. But, man, it's really tough to sit here and try and put down 10 channels that I think I'd like to see in the YouTube Hall of Fame. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to throw it out here. Some of this is got great reasons. Some of it really is just my choice, and that's really what it comes down to. Been a lot of passion involved in this year's little voting. A lot of videos kicking out. I've tried to steer clear of all of that because, again, I really like everyone. I try to keep an open mind with everything. I don't want to ingest something that may kind of sway me on someone's channel or what they do or whatever. I've tried to steer clear of all of the madness that's gone on with this. And so here is the 10 channels that Beantown62 is going to vote for the YouTube Hall of Fame. And my first, and this is the only one I'm going to put in first, but my first selection is Mr. Ricky Russo with 2,084 subscribers at the time of me looking at his little channel today. And Ricky, it's rumored, was one tough hombre back in the 70s. So he grew up in South Jersey back in the 70s, and it's rumored that Ricky was next in line behind Angelo Bruno to take over the South Jersey family. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing that when Angelo, on March 21st, 1980, caught a bullet in the back of the head that Ricky had to make a decision. And it said that Mrs. Russo stepped in and told Ricky that it's time to stop being a kid and grow up. And he had to make a choice. And she gave him an ultimatum that either you go and you start up a YouTube family and start breaking cards and grow up, or I'm out of here. And the rest is history, because Ricky went out and he started breaking cards and he started a family. And so Ricky has become the card father. And he is the man. I really enjoy his channel. I enjoy the different things he does. I enjoy the contests, just trying to get everybody to know each other, reach out with each other. And so again, Ricky Russo is Beantown62's first entry out there. I think it's well deserving. Just a ton of content. Just really, really enjoy what Ricky Russo does. And the next on Beantown62's list, as I'm spilling the beans here, with 568 subs, is Dustin Blake. And Dustin Blake, I've really enjoyed their channel because, again, I've had 5 boys and we've busted cards, man. And of course, you know, I've got one of my boys and his son, my grandson, active participants in this card family here in the YouTube card breaking community. And so I just like what he does. I like Dustin's style. I like how he goes out and just comes up with crazy stuff. I really enjoyed the little Walmart break. He's like me. He likes to engage with people. Again, so I just really feel a common thread with this channel. Love the whole family aspect of it. And so I think they're well deserving. And so Dustin and Blake get a Beantown62 vote as I spill the beans. And as I further spill the beans, I'm going to throw out at you the Jabs family. With 19,481 subs, I'm really one of the first channels that Beantown62 watched. And what was intriguing about Eric and what him and his brother does is they just do so many different things to find cards, from estate auctions to going to antique shops. And again, I've got a lot of great ideas on how to find cards, how to look for stuff. A couple of the greatest finds I've gotten came via, ideas that I pulled off of their channel. And so I just really, really have enjoyed the Jabs family. I've enjoyed Eric, and I've enjoyed his openness. Of course, prayers with him for what he's battling through. I appreciate the fact that he's reached out to the community and asked us to hold him up. And we continue to hold him up and continue to just bless him and say great things. And so the Jabs family gets spilled out of the bean pot and is selected. The next bean to get spilled with 307 subscribers is Those Back Pages. And Those Back Pages, one of the, again, to Beantown, one of the things that separates this channel is, again, you turn it on and you're faced with everyone matters. And so everyone has an opinion, everyone matters. Share what you know, share what you do, whether it's right or wrong. Just don't be afraid to go up and share. And this community, again, is a great community of people that, again, lift other people up, help other people out. We don't always say and do the right things, but somebody will come up in a loving manner, isn't that right? And say, hey, look at it this way. Maybe it's this way, or whatever. And so, again, I just really appreciate his whole attitude on the card family, the process of it, and his heart for this. And again, has a phenomenal collection. I mean, just ridiculous collection of cards. So I have spilled the beans for Those Back Pages. And next up on my list, again, and I got a couple stuck together here, I think. I'm trying to spill 2 beans at once, and we can't do that. Next on my list with 369 subs is the Card Dreamer. And the Card Dreamer, again, is another guy that it's more than cards. My first shot with the Card Dreamer was him reaching out to the community to help somebody out that was in need. Again, realizing the number of people that are in this community and realizing that, to make a difference in somebody's life, it doesn't take, each one of us dumping a boatload of cash out, that there's enough of us here. I want you to think about this. There's thousands of us in this community. Now, I know Beantown only has like 106 people in his little circle. Again, but there's some of you, again, like I said, Jobs family, 19,000. Russo, 2,000. You think about 2,000 people. If there was somebody that had a need, and again, right now, there's somebody in the community that's going through a medical issue and has a need. You think about this. If we each just throw $10, and 2,000 people throw $10 at that need, think about it. You're talking tens of thousands of dollars being raised that quick that it's the cost of a card to each one of us. And so the card dreamer is a guy that's not afraid to come out and say, hey, there's somebody in need, there's somebody hurting in this community, and let's do what we can do to help them. Understanding that, none of us probably have hundreds or thousands that we can chunk out. But if we can all just do a little bit, we can make a great difference in people's lives. And really, that's what this life is all about, is relationships and friendships. And without that, what if you have work and a bunch of, what good is a pile of cards? You can have the greatest cards in the world, but if you don't have anybody to share them with and you're just stuck in a room looking at your cards by yourself, oh, great, that's fun, isn't it? And so anyways, the Card Dreamers made an impact in Beantown62's heart. And so with that, the Card Dreamer, again, I'm spilling the beans, and he's one of my 10 beans that's getting spilled. And then coming up next, Beantown62 spilling the beans for Bowman 1951 with 275 subs. And Bowman 1951 is Beantown62's homer pick. That's right. He's my homer pick, a fellow Bostonite with wicked awesome content, wicked awesome cards, wicked awesome channel. And so whether you like it or not, whether you think he's worthy or not, it doesn't matter. That's Beantown's pick. Bowman 1951, you have my vote. And next, coming out of the bean pot, and again, they're trying to jump out in multiples. The next one coming out of the bean pot with 317 subscribers is the Hall of Fame Collector. The Hall of Fame Collector is, again, a phenomenal collection of cards. Just ridiculous. And Beantown62 just loves seeing what he has and what he's sharing, knowing that, again, I'll never have those cards, but it's wicked cool to see somebody have a collection that he has amassed, a little of everything. And so really appreciate that. And what pushed it over the edge for the Hall of Fame Collector for Beantown62 was the fact that he was willing to put his own pig on the line for Russo's production, and he was willing to let his pig get brain freeze on a national video going out to thousands. I thought that was great. I loved his video. I loved the pig. And so with that, the Hall of Fame Collector gets Beantown62's vote. Next up on Beantown's list, and I should wish these things would have came apart a little easier, but there you go. Next up on Beantown list, the next bean that we're spilling, if it'll stand up here, there we go, with 279 subs, it's the Book of Festus. And the Book of Festus, again, to Beantown62, is a very unique channel, great interaction, just love how it's done. It's different, guys. It's different. And so because he's so different than everyone else, I like him. I like him. And I like him to the point to say that this channel sticks out as being something different and special. And so the Book of Festus gets spilled. His bean has been spilled, and he becomes one of the 10 that Beantown62 is going to select. The next bean that Beantown62 is spilling is Joey Brings It with 588 subs. And I really don't need to say anything else because he brings it. Great collection, great stuff, great content. I really can go on and on, but there's no need because his name says it all. So with that, Beantown spills the bean for Joey brings it. And then, the last, number 10, bean that Beantown gets to spill with 206 subscribers is She Blinded Me with Refractors. And why? Because this bean has the best name in the community. I think it's the most awesome name in the whole community. And She Blinded Me with Refractors separates himself from the rest of us purely with that awesome, wicked awesome name. Love his stuff, kind of getting into his channel, like his personality, but more than anything, the best name in the business. And for that, I'm spilling my bean for She Blinded Me with Refractors. And so there you have it. That's Beantown62's Hall of Fame vote. Last minute, got it out there. Want to thank all of those that helped me see the light and push this vote out and get it out on time. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this production, and we are out of here. Later, dudes.